So you all see my screen and hear me well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
So let's go. Good morning, everyone. I am Liz. I'm working at Nobatech as European Project Manager. You probably saw me during Nebula's meeting or Star Trek meeting. We are work package leader in Nebula's project, and we are coordinating the Star Trek project. These two projects are in these two projects, we are working on the development of the before peaks, and we help you to consolidate your before peak and to improve your maturity level. Today, I will present you this webinar with the help of my colleague Claudia and of our frontrunner cluster representative, Noelia. I will let them introduce themselves shortly, and then I will ask you to rapidly switch on your camera just to present you, the frontrunner cluster you are working in, the before peak you are working in, sorry, and the country you come from. It will be really fast, don't worry. If you have questions, we have a Q&A session at the end of the meeting, so you can ask the question in this session, or you can put it in the chat, because as I am sharing the screen, I will not see you raising your hand. So Claudia, if you want to present yourself.
Good morning to everybody. I think I know a lot of you, but I didn't have the pleasure to meet all of you. I'm Claudia Hunziker. I'm the head of European project at Nobatech in FCAD, and I'm following the Nebula projects, and I'm coordinating together with Liz the Star Trek project for a certain time now. And we have been also important collaborators with respect to the front runner cluster built for people. It's actually a meta cluster built for people innovation, meta cluster Nouvelle Aquitaine Euskadi, and with whom we could establish very good relationships during this process of road mapping. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Noelia, the Technical Director of the Bus Construction Cluster Building, and we have been involved in the Nebula project since the beginning as the frontrunner cluster, and now we are also involved in the Star Trek project. And I don't know, that's all. Maybe later we can explain more what is the cluster and what we are doing in the project.
Perfect, thank you. So who wants to begin? Do I need to call you one by one, or someone wants to begin?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Raquel Nieto. I am a project manager in the Wood and Design cluster in Galicia, and we are member of Bid for People Innovation Cluster since a couple of months. We represent the wood value chain in our region. Thank you.
Can I continue?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good morning. My name is Sabina Jordan. I'm coming from Ljubljana, Slovenia. My work is at Slovenia National Building and Civil Engineering Institute. Otherwise, I am managing kind of cluster in Slovenia. It's called Strategic Research and Innovation Partnership, Smart Buildings and Wood with Wooden Chain. And we are happy to join this society or environment in this project. So yes, it's the first time for us in Star Trek. And there are colleagues with me, I believe Ursha, so maybe Ursha, you can continue.
Okay, good morning from my side. As Sabina already introduced herself, I also come from ZAG, so from the Slovenia National Research Institute. I work at the fire laboratory, and I will be working here mainly to coordinate the work within our institute. So thank you. And I give now word to Tina, that is also joining today's meeting.
Yes, hello. My name is Tina, and I work with Sabina and Ursha at Slovenian National Building and Civil Engineering Institute. I work for the clusters Sabina mentioned, the Strategic Development and Innovation Partnership, smart buildings and home with wooden chain. Thank you.
Okay, maybe Elias? Oh, sorry, Inigo. Go.
Hello. How are you doing? Thanks. Good morning. My name is Inigo Porres. I'm the manager of ICONS, the construction and industry cluster of Navarre. It's analogous to building, and in fact, we are neighbors. We are part of Build for People Innovation Cluster Network, as well as of the StarTAC project that my partners mentioned, which is the continuation of Nebula. So thanks for this session.
Hi, can I? Hello. Okay. Hi, good morning. I'm Elias Konzopoulos from Cluster Economy from Greece, and we are partners StarTAC project.
And also from
also.
Yeah, good morning also from me. I'm Diane Roulia. I'm also working for Cluster Economy, and we are involved in StarTAC project. Thank you.
Patrick? Oh, you've got a microphone issue, no?
Yeah, I believe it works now.
Oh, it's fine.
Cool. Yeah, so hi, I'm Patrick and I represent the Arhaner cluster. We are from Hungary and we have joined Nebula, I think in autumn, a few months ago. And our main focus areas are renewable energy and the construction industry.
Gianluca?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Gianluca from Cluster Build of the Emilia-Romagna region. We became an innovation cluster last September. And sorry for a very brief presentation, but I'm traveling right now. I'm driving, actually. So I'm here to hear everything.
Katarina?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Katerina Jokic. I am a communication dissemination manager at the Association of Balkan Eco Innovation, and was appointed, I think, a couple of days ago as a new NEB advisor for a Nebula project. So it's very nice to meet you all, and I'm looking forward to learn from all of you.
Thank you. Karine?
Yes, good morning to you all. So I'm Karine from Dowell Innovation. I'm coordinating the Nebula project, and I'm also involved in StarTAC.
And Rachel?
Hi everyone. I'm from a Venetian Green Building cluster. We will sign the innovation cluster charter as soon as we can, and we represent the sector as a green building and as well the smart building for the construction. And it's enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Roberto?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I'm Roberto Lollini, representing Europe Research. We are coordinating NOETB project, Mid-Zero, and we are partner in StarTAC. And as well, we are trying to define a local Build for People innovation cluster, and we are in contact with a local organization called IDM that is working on with the green building and sustainability in buildings, digitalization of the building construction sector, and we are starting with them. There should be a workshop in February, and we are also connected with the Slovenian colleagues in order to have a common roadmap because there are some common points that we can face together. Thank you.
Marcelo?
Hello, good morning. I'm Marcello from Abitec, which is a cluster organization based near Iraq, so in the autonomous province of Trento. Yeah, we are in the process of joining the initiative of the innovation cluster, so we are in the process of signing the charter. So thanks for this session.
Thank you, Juan.
Hello, I am Juan Perez from Tecnalia. Tecnalia is a technological center in the Basque Country, and we have been the accompanying partner of the Spanish and Portuguese clusters.
Ilka.
Hello, my name is Ilkka Aaltio. I'm from Greennet Finland. We are a cluster in Helsinki, operating in Finland, working with low carbon urban infrastructure and circular economy of construction. So very nice to see you all.
Thank you. And Clémentine?
Sorry, hello everyone. I'm Clémentine Coujar from Dow Innovation, just in support of Karin coordinating the NEBULA project.
Thank you. So we can now begin with the webinar. Firstly, we will show you, or we will tell you a bit more about.
Sorry, Liz,
yes,
maybe we are missing Raquel Nieto. You have already presented yourself?
I think yes.
Okay.
No, I have already presented me. I was the first one.
Okay,
exactly.
Sorry, I wasn't.
So we will tell you a bit more about who we are and how we are organized. Then we will talk about the roadmap, the chosen methodology, the difficulties we had, and some lessons learned about this process. And to conclude, we will give you some feedback on the stakeholder engagement based on the experience of building and ODIs. So let's go up. It's working now. As you probably know, we are the frontrunner cluster of all the before peaks. This is why we are here today. We are a meta cluster. Because we are composed of two before peak joining their forces. We are locating both in France and Spain, Nouvelle-Aquitaine region in the southwest of France, and Euskadi region in the northwest of Spain. We signed, not me, but the ODIs and Building signed their charter in 2023, a joint charter. And our main aim is to boost the collaboration between our regions to promote innovation in the building sector. This summer, we worked together on our roadmap, and we finalized the document in October 2024. We also expanded in September 2024 by welcoming Icon Cluster, a before peak, based in Navarra. So today, Inigo is also with us, so if you have questions for him, it's also possible to ask him a question. As we evolved, we changed our name. We are now the before peak meta cluster Nouvelle-Aquitaine, Euskadi, and Navarra, and we need to review our roadmap to make sure it is still aligned with all our objectives. You can visit our collaboration space here in this link, but I will present later on the meta building platform. So now we will present you briefly the ODIs cluster. Unfortunately, Estelle was not able to join today, but Claudia will say a few words about the cluster. And if you want to get in touch with ODIs, all the contacts are at the end of the meeting. So Claudia, if you want to tell us a bit more about ODIs.
Yes, I would like to do that. ODIs is the cluster of the Nouvelle-Aquitaine region, the construction cluster of the Nouvelle-Aquitaine region. They have different locations within Nouvelle-Aquitaine. One here in Anglet, where we have the headquarters of Novatec in F4, and we are they are very active in trying to promote a quality level for sustainable buildings in Nouvelle-Aquitaine, in the region. They work together on this with the region itself, and they have basically a mandate of the region to drive innovation with their respective actors in the region. They have a lot of architects actually in their amongst their members. Also some companies. For us, it would be even more interesting for a Build for People innovation cluster and to help support the development of innovations if they would have more companies that are engaging in innovation. For the moment being, it's they are a catalyst, as they say, for sustainable innovation in France, but mostly by showing good examples of architects that are building good examples of buildings with respect to sustainability, but also coherent with the new European Bauhaus values. And they already have also assigned a NEB advisor inside in order to help their members understand what is the new European Bauhaus and how to best implement projects that are in line with the values and objectives of the new European Bauhaus. And in this sense, they are a Build for People innovation, still an emerging Build for People innovation cluster, but that is really pushing the NEB values. I think that's all. For maybe also to mention, we have a close collaboration between Novatec and the cluster, because we are supporting them when it comes to more technical type of innovation, but because we are not YO, and they are more innovation specialists and networking specialists. Thank you.
Thank you. And now the presentation of Noelia from Building.
Hi again. I'm the technical director of Building. Building is the bus construction cluster. We are located in the north of Spain, and we are very focused on fostering the collaboration, the innovation, and the internationalization of our members. We are composed by all the value chain of the construction sector, public and private entities, that allows us to make possible that collaboration and to make that transference between the public and the private part. We have entities from architectural studies, builders, final situation, building maintenance, and also entities linked to the sustainability and digitalization that give us the knowledge to the other entities to continue developing that innovation in those entities. As a cluster, we are very focused on different topics like renovation, the digitalization, and the industrialized construction. And also, we are trying to be aligned with the double transition at the European level, with the sustainable and digital part, and also with the new European Bauhaus. Regarding the meta cluster or the cluster, for us it's very important to be part of the Build for People partnership, because since the last 3 years we are very focused on making visible the work that we are doing here in the Basque Country, and trying to find new collaborations with other clusters, as we start collaborating with others like 5 years ago. Because we think that that's the way of making the construction sector more present in those research, development, and innovation projects, and to be able to develop the new European Bauhaus and all the strategies that are being developed at the European level. So thank you, Liz.
Thank you. So this is not the only 2 members of the meta cluster, because we have supporters. Within the meta cluster, we have 2 RTOs, Tecnalia, Juan is here today also during the presentation, and Novatec. Our role is basically to help before the signature of the charter. We accompanied building and NODIs and also cluster in Portugal, I think, before the signature of the charter. We are also here to know better the local, national, and European opportunities and the Euro-regional strategies to align the meta-cluster strategy with these strategies. We also are here to help with the organization of events. I will present later on 2 examples of events we organized this year. We are here to develop and facilitate the collaboration with technology platform, national or international, for example, the PTEC or the Meta Building platform. And finally, we are involved in some committees that allow us to know better the B4PIC strategy, for example, and then we can transmit it to the B4PIC members to help them with their own development. The collaboration space. We created a collaboration space on the Meta Building platform to work together. So first, each B4P created its own profile. It's important to have your own profile in the platform because then you can create this collaborative profile and you can send a request to join this collaborating space. In this space, you can post news, you can work on working group. You have the working group here on the left. For example, we have currently 5 working groups and 1 working group on the roadmap. You can also share documents or an agenda on each working group. On the left and the right side, you've got the Build4PIC description. So here you can describe your cluster. You can indicate your ongoing project, for example, or all the services you can provide. We will organize soon a webinar on the use of the Meta Building platform if some of you are interested. In this same platform, you can find the collaboration space of the B4PIC networks. So once again, you need first to have your own profile to then send a request to join the B4PIC network. So here you can have the same functionality as for your own cluster. You can have access to information about funding opportunities. You can communicate about your events or have information about the events of the other clusters. And you can also collaborate in working groups. For example, you have the Neighbor Advisor working groups on this page. As I said, if you have questions about this platform, we will organize soon another webinar on this topic. Yes, Claudia, do not hesitate even to
just maybe to make things clear, the idea is really that all of the clusters do have their own profile, as Lise said, in the platform as an entity, but also that they have a place where they can exchange with their members, or if they are like our Build for People Innovation Cluster cross Build for People Innovation Cluster, we have joined to Build for People Innovation Cluster. They can, of course, use this collaboration space, create their own to collaborate between or permit their members also to collaborate between Build for People Innovation Clusters. So the idea is, of course, that you don't join the Build for People Innovation Cluster Aquitaine Euskadi Navarre, but you create your own space. And eventually, if you are like in the case of Italy and Slovenia, if you are 2 clusters that want to kind of merge virtually, so you can create your own space as well to permit your members between the 2 clusters to better connect and to work on strategic issues. The working groups you have seen in the Build for People Innovation Cluster Aquitaine Euskadi, they are aligned with the main topics of the strategic roadmap. We didn't use them up to now because we just finalized the roadmap, but the idea is to have dedicated groups where we can work on the specific issues of the roadmap and exchange on this within these Build for People Innovation cluster tool. So the importance is also to have your, and now we go to the next slide maybe, is important to have your profile set up on the platform, because as you know, one of the most important issues of Build for People is to bring the Build for People innovation clusters together, like we are doing here right now, but to enable you to continue the exchange. And for this, DAWL, ECTP, and the World Green Building Council, they have created a meta clustering place where the different Build for People innovation clusters can exchange their specific expertise and learn from each other. And this is where the Build for People innovation cluster, what we call Build for People innovation cluster network, which helps to foster the exchange between the different Build for People innovation clusters in the different countries. We see, I see we have actually a question from somebody. I don't know who, Roberto.
Yeah, from me. Yeah, I was wondering at which status, I mean, should be defined a cluster in the platform. I'm saying because we are starting, as I said, so I don't know if it is the case to convince them to put some information here or to work together with the Sabina and the Slovenian colleagues to have a common page or module here in the platform, even if we are at the very beginning. So, or if you have to wait to having more formalized, let's say, agreement.
Yeah, I mean, to have a profile of your institution, in your case, EURAC or Sabina SAC, or as well for your respective clusters, you can do this anyway, in any case, because it gives you already more visibility. But then to have a joint meeting place where you exchange things, I think this makes sense once you have clear what you want to do together and so on. But to get visibility for your own institutions on the Meta Building platform in general and in your specific countries, because we have also country views on the actors of each and every country. I think this already helps to get increased visibility and maybe also onboard new members for your already existing clusters. But of course, once you start to collaborate, it's also good that you have a proper space where the members of these different clusters can work together on specific issues. But without having defined them, I think it's maybe too early to create a joint room, so to say. Where
Sure. So, I mean, because, I mean, we are already, as EURAC, we are already on the platform. I'm wondering, so that the next step would be to have the local cluster, and then once we will have a more formal agreement with Slovenian colleagues to create this common space.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Roberto. Thank you, Claudia. As I said, we will organize soon a webinar on this subject. So, the organizational structure of our meta cluster. During the writing process of the roadmap, we decided to set an organizational structure for our meta cluster. This decision was taken to make sure the management of the cluster will be efficient, because we are 2 B4Ps, no 3, and 2 RTOs. So we need some organization. We chose the following structure with a steering committee, 1 representative by B4PIC, and one of them will chair the steering committee, and it will rotate every year. This is to share the work and responsibilities among the meta cluster members. Then we have the working groups we presented just before. In this working group, all the cluster interested can participate. So we have 2 cluster, 2 B4PIC interested by our working group. They are involved in the work in these working groups. And also they can involve their stakeholder interested by working in these working groups. If you are only one in your cluster, you do not need to think about this aspect. But if you are two before peaks or one before peak and another cluster that want to join, you need to think about the organizational structure of your before peak. That's it for the presentation of our cluster. If you have questions, you can ask them at the end if you want, or put it in the chat. Now let's move on to the elaboration of the joint roadmap. As an introduction for this part, I just would like to remind you that the aim of this kind of document is to define objective, common or not, if you're online, and also to find ways to implement them to reach these objectives. Firstly, all of us, each one of us, worked by its side on some preparatory work. So for the two before peaks, it was on the identification of their current roadmap, strategy, or existing documents, the main subjects they would like to improve via the collaboration in the before peaks with the other before peaks. That is to say, the objectives that sound relevant for them to add in the joint document and to work on within this before peak. We also ask them two questions. What do you want to achieve at the before peak? And how they will contribute to the before peak maturation process. So what do you want to bring into this before peak? Meanwhile, the two RTOs were listed the different kind of services and support they can provide to the before peak manager, that is to say to Noelia or Estelle, for example, and the services they can provide to the members of ODIs or the member of building. This was a first step for us. After this first step, we decided to meet physically in San Sebastian. It was a half-day meeting to brainstorm together. First of all, each one presented its individual work. And we tried to identify some common objectives and synergies. We also take into account documents to build our own roadmap, like, for example, the Euro region strategy, because we are all in the same Euro region and we need to make sure we are aligned with the objective of our territory, because for some clusters, the Euro region is really involved in their development, and sometimes the region is funding the cluster. So we need to make sure we were aligned with this objective. You have them on the right side of the slide, and you can see that some points are really relevant for us, like sustainable I can say development. Yes. During this brainstorming session, we identified the major synergy and common objective of our before peaks, and we defined the structure we presented just before. I do not know if you want to say a few words about the Euro region strategy, Juan or Claudia.
I may. It's very important to actually see that the Euro region strategy is very in line with what the European Commission is pushing, which is very good, because this means being aligned with the topics that the Euro region is pushing and as well the Commission. This helps the members of this Build for People Innovation Cluster to easily or better find money in order to finance potential collaborative innovation projects. And this is also the way we have chosen to do the workshops with all the members of the Build for People Innovation Cluster, Aquitaine, Euskadi, and also including Navarra. It was to present the possibilities of collaboration with respect to available funding. The idea was really to make companies that want to be innovative in one of these fields, to see how to help them, and also to bring them or make them fit to respond to calls for proposals, either on regional level, on national level, but also on European level. And the alignment of the objectives, of course, of a Build for People innovation cluster with topics that a region or a Euro region wants to finance evidently helps to have easier access to finance. I think that's what I can say about that. Thank you.
Thank you. After this step, we asked to the B4PIC to work on their local environment, on the ecosystem. So it was to know better the territory, the stakeholder of the territory, and the specificity of our construction sector in the Euro region. They did a benchmark, and then they did a kind of mind map of the sector. This mind map highlights the most important stakeholder of all regions, and it will be useful to know who are the main one and which one we want to bring on board and to work with in our B4PIC. This mind map will be useful, for example, for the stakeholder engagement. We will talk about it later on. And we integrate these two documents in the roadmap. You will have to do this kind of work for your roadmap if it's not already done. After all this step, we had to enter in the writing process to have a final document validated by the B4PICs. And now we have the final document. As you know, this is a living document, so we need to update it since the integration of icons to make sure we are also aligned with icons objective and vision. Normally it's fine. And we also have to check regularly the coherence with respect to the B4PIC objective and NEB values. So the content, what is in the roadmap? First, we decided to give some context to remind what is a B4PIC, in which projects these have been created and developed, who we are and where we are located. This is really important to know the context and to understand the rest of the document and why we decided to work on this objective and not on other one. We will find the analysis of the individual objective of ODS and building, their own roadmap. You probably have one. Then the roadmap of the B4PIC metacluster. In this part, you can find all synergy, all structure, and the alignment with the Euro region strategy. And you can also find a part in which we list all the relevant funding programs for all cluster. It can be European funding program, national funding programs, or regional one, because you can collaborate through the border, thanks to the FEDER, for example. We work a bit on the next step for the roadmap, because we would like to develop the roadmap on the future. And in annex, you can put every relevant document you want. By our side, we decided to put the joint maturation roadmap did by ODS and Building. It's to show the link between this joint maturation roadmap and the whole roadmap document, this one, because of course we want them to be aligned, to work in the same direction. So which objective we chose? The first one is linked to the regional characteristics of our sector. It was needs highlighted by the two B4PICs. We would like the industrial sector to be more recognized in the Nouvelle-Aquitaine, Euskadi, and Navarre Euro region. Second one is linked to our progress and how to measure the metacluster evolution. Then it's linked to the Euro region objective of cross-border collaboration and competitiveness of the companies. SMEs, the innovation sector. The first one is linked to the NEB objective and also the objective important for the Euro region, for the European Commission, for our national governments, ecological transition, decarbonization, circular economy, things like that. It was also a point really important for the before peak, so we decided to put an objective on that. And the last one is directly linked to the services we can provide together to the cluster members and all the help we can provide to develop the innovation in the region to obtain more projects, research and innovation project in the territory. As you can see, these 5 objectives are strongly connected with the Euro region and the strategy, the before peak strategy, and the NEB values, and also the 2 individual roadmap of ODIs and buildings. So everything is connected. We did not invent something new or something revolutionary, but we found synergy to move in the same direction altogether. We joined forces to be stronger on this topic. Then lessons learned. Of course, this process was enriching for each one of us. We learned a lot from the other clusters, and we are now more involved in the meta cluster because it's more concrete thanks to the common objective. We are also more competitive together, and we have the same vision, and we share this vision with the Euro region territory, which is important to be recognized in the Euro region and to keep working with our respective regions. We can also create more events and cross-border collaboration. And for the positive experience that sits, we will continue to work together in that way. About the major difficulties, as I said, we work on existing documents like the Euro region document or the before peak objective, the NEB values, etc. And sometimes it's hard to create a document when you need to base it on other concepts because you do not always fully understand these concepts. So it was a little difficulty. Also, as we have 2 before peaks, we need to find common objective, and it's not always easy. For us, it's fine because we work together since many years, but it's more difficult than alone because it required more work and more involvement in the writing process, for example. The last main difficulty was to plan objective for the long term and to have a vision of our meta cluster in the future because there are no other existing example. So we need to imagine what will be the cluster in the future. So about lesson learned, I do not know if Noelia, Juan, or Claudia, you have personal experience of something you want to share with us.
I don't know if to share it. Yeah, go ahead, Juan.
No, I think it's well summarized in this slide, the key issues. From my point of view, one of the more important things when you create a meta cluster is to be able to identify what is the added value of the meta cluster regarding the day-to-day activities that are already being developed by each cluster by itself. And I think we have collected here very well what are the opportunities.
Maybe I would like to add something on this because I know that a lot of you are in a kind of different situation because you are not necessarily wanting to create right now a meta cluster, but you are individual built for people innovation clusters with except some of the Italian, Slovenian ideas that we have. I think it's still very valid and important to grow along the lines and to integrate in your existing roadmaps the principles that the Build for People Innovation Cluster stand for. To work on collaboration with other sectors to try to evolve on this and so on. But it's also true, and one of the success factors of the maturation framework is on cross-border collaboration, which I think it's not a must. I think it's not a mandatory success factor, but it's something that is really of a lot of value. What I want to say with this, I think looking at the positive experience that we have here, it's a lot coming from working together with others. And in quotation mark, only evolving on your own is certainly very important, and it really we will also help to align you with the Build for People objectives and to help you to open your space and so on. So this is already a first very good result, but even more so, the real added value is coming from working with others, and I only can recommend to you to also think maybe in how you want to evolve, in which are the other Build for People innovation cluster maybe existing or to be created, with whom you could engage in a joint road mapping. And because I think this is what really made the difference here in our experience. So no, that's an opinion from my side, but I really would like to motivate to also maybe try to go this road, because it really helps to exchange with others and to learn from others and have a common roadmap afterwards. If you don't take this road, at least you have the chance of profiting of the the expertise and the lessons learned of others by joining the Build for People Innovation Cluster Network and to be part of this virtual exchange room between all existing Build for People Innovation Clusters, which, by the way, once again, is mandatory, but it's not only mandatory. I think this is where a lot of the value comes from and where you can learn a lot. Thank you. I see Roberto has his hand up.
Yeah, I guess connected with that, the concept of meta building cluster, there's the open innovation that we discussed, and I mean, I didn't see in today's presentation, but I guess it's something, let's say, at the base or something like that. So I'm wondering if how to promote the open innovation approach and how to promote the beneficial aspects. Mainly with this cross-regional, inter-regional collaborations. I mean, maybe using some means like launching challenges, common challenges, or defining sort of hackathon or this kind of initiatives. I'm wondering if you experienced something like that, and if it is something that we have to, let's say, push for, or it's just better to have, not mandatory. This kind of question.
I'm not sure, maybe just before answering, could you tell me what you actually mean by the meta building cluster? Because this I didn't really understand. So
not meta building, meta cluster.
Okay.
I mean, what I understood from your presentation is kind of, connection among two Build for People innovation cluster in order to have common activities, common objectives. So that's my understanding. I don't know if I'm right or not.
Yeah, okay, you said the meta cluster. Yeah, in the end, that's what we are doing. And I know you are trying to do more or less something similar in quotation mark together with Slovenia, which I really appreciate. But we have a lot of clusters in the room that are not necessarily taking this road or not yet. And I think that what I simply wanted to say, the way of doing it, I think the cluster have said this is what gives really the added value or what they appreciated most. I don't say that elaborating and maturing on the Build for People objectives and what the Build for People wants to achieve on your own as Build for People emerging Build for People innovation cluster is not a valuable thing, not at all. But I motivate everybody to go that way. But I think what really makes the difference is this success factor where you start to collaborate between different countries or even between different regions. That's where you really make a difference. With respect to what you said, how to do it, having joint hackathons or whatnot. We didn't do that so far. We are just starting, as you see here, what are the objectives. And I think there I can tell you in how far we probably foresee to use the collaboration between these three Build for People innovation clusters. So in all the three countries, 2 countries, 3 regions, so in France and Spain, we have a problem that the construction is not recognized as an industrial sector. And this is something we want to work together on it to get more recognition in front of our regional governments in order to show that we are an industrial sector and to also we always get feedbacks, the 3 regions get feedback that they from the government that the construction sector is not enough innovative. I think this all we know that this is a common thing that we have to hear. And being together in a Build for People innovation cluster, we want to use that to show that yes, we are innovative and in which way we are innovative and that we are heavily pushing innovation by becoming and maturing as a Build for People innovation cluster. Then we want to use the Build for People innovation cluster metrics and tools to monitor progress, to share this kind of how we measure progress and so on. We want to foster collaboration with other sectors for staying competitive. This is another one, an objective that is related also to one of the maturation framework's success pillars, because a lot of clusters, and this can or cannot be done in a meta cluster, but basically you can also form like a meta cluster, or you could form like a meta cluster, not between 2 Build for People innovation clusters of the construction sector, but you could also team up with a cluster from another sector, which would be, and we try to integrate these kind of clusters into the Build for People in this meta cluster of Build for People, because we heavily think that the challenges of today cannot be solved only looking from construction perspective, but we need to integrate other perspectives which are dealt with in other clusters in our regions, for example, on recycling, on ICT, could be the collaboration with local digital innovation hubs, if there are any. So to use this vehicle, this tool of being a Build for People innovation cluster to collaborate with these other sectors or these other disciplines. And I think that's about it on what I can say in how far we want to use this. We also had something here. Yeah, you can go. Now it switched. Establishment of a Euro-regional network of sustainable buildings. I have mentioned that ODS has a very advanced methodology to analyze and rank the sustainable buildings in Aquitaine Euskadi, in Aquitaine, in the Nouvelle Aquitaine region. And the idea is also to use this methodology they have developed for a long time now to maybe apply it in the other regions and to learn from this, and also to provide examples for all of us within the new European Bauhaus activities, because as you know, all of us are required to have NEB advisors in their Build for People innovation cluster. So maybe this is also something we could exchange, not necessarily only within our 3 regions, but maybe beyond. And finally, one common headache for all of the 3 regions is the upskilling of the sector and the outreach to talents. And I think there we also try to find out how we can do that together, and certainly StarTrack with the tools that it provides, and where you anyway, Roberta, know very well what we are doing. This could also be a means to help upskilling of the sector in the different regions. So it's not necessarily between only the region, but profiting of things that are done in our network in order to upskill the workforce of the sector in our region, and outreach to talents. Okay, this is not necessarily very much linked to the rest that we are doing, but maybe as well. I don't know if I answered really your question, Roberto, but tell me.
Yes, absolutely. Still not fully sure about the open word. I mean, if we have to use to push for, but it sounds for the whole context, yes, to me. Just I don't know if to use this keyword or not, open innovation, you know, that we are using in our OITBs project. Of course, is the O of the OITBs.
For me, open innovation, I think it's always okay and good. I don't have a problem with it, but I was working in the past for open innovation. And for me, open innovation is something that is very clearly defined, and probably we use it sometimes wrongly, because open innovation was coined by Henry Chesbrough, and it means about bringing in innovation from outside the innovation line of a company, bringing inside at different levels of the innovation funnel, or having things floating out. And I don't say we are not doing open innovation here, but not maybe in the strict sense of how it was coined at the very beginning. But yeah, maybe that's another discussion. I see Sabina's hands on. Sabina.
Yes, thank you. I have a suggestion, Claudia. It goes very well with your last sentences about open innovation, or how did you explain it? I mean, we are using here, or you are using here in this project, so many terms. It would be, I believe, very good and very beneficial for all of us if we would write down the glossary of terms. I mean, you know, what is cluster, what is meta cluster, what is this and that. So it can be a very short definition of term that we are using in this project. It's not necessarily that is aligned with all other definitions, but how we are using this term here in this project, that's very important, so that we will use it, we will all understand it in the same manner. That's my suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you. I think this is a very good point, but I would like maybe to give the floor very quickly to Karin, if she's still with us. I think yes, because these are
still
things.
here. I believe it's those terms may be explained in the charter that before PICs have to sign. I have to check because I don't know it by heart. So I can send you the template of before PIC charter, Sabina, so you can have a look. And then you can also let me know if you see anything missing, and I will look for all the materials we have.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, just to add, I found many things, many terms in the first draft deliverable that Anastasia sent us this week. So it's quite useful, very useful. So maybe we could just a little bit expand this in this particular deliverable, the terms, the ones that we are using, so that are all on the one place, so we can find it and use them. Thank you.
I think maybe this. Thank you, Sabina, and it's good that you mentioned it. I think we are on like at different steps. There are some of us, and Karin, just leave your camera on. There are some of us that working with this concept now for quite some years, and in the Nebula project, there have been definition, but maybe we should use now the end of Nebula project also to phrase or come up with these definitions a little in a more comprehensive way and try to redistribute. At one point in time, they have been distributed, it's true, but the new people that join, they are not on the same page yet. And I think it's important to remember what is an innovation cluster and what is a build for people or a prospective build for people innovation cluster, emerging build, and so on. I know that it's all defined. We can find it on the Build for People website, but I think probably it would be helpful to have, as Sabina said, a glossary where it's maybe in more simplified terms, it's quickly explained.
Well, yes, that's for sure that I'm sure that you did defines everything already in Nebula, but the problem is that we weren't part of Nebula. So yeah, so we are the ones that we need it, actually, the ones that are joined just now in a Star Trek. Although I have to say that we still don't have
you're muted.
You turned off your mic somehow.
Somehow I did it,
accident.
yes, thank you. So we don't have access to Nebula documents, that's why we cannot read them. And I tried to find some things on the web pages, but I couldn't. So it would really be benefit for us to have it in one single document. You know, it's nothing, it's not much work, I believe. It's just to gather them together into maybe to add some of them in this deliverable that Anastasia sent us. Thanks.
I think everything will be on the platform, the meta-building platform soon, and we will be able to do another webinar to show you where to find this document and how to use the platform, so everyone will get access to the relevant documentation soon.
And overall, I think the relevant platform, the relevant site is the Build for People site, where you have everything. And this is alimented by the Nebula project. I will share it in the chat with you. But there normally you have everything. But maybe it's in different documents, which makes it not so easy for you to find it. But everything you need, or everything, I don't know, maybe Karin, you correct me if it's not everything, but in the end, these main concepts and so on, they are all explained, and the information and publications that go with it, they are on the Build for People website.
Okay, so let's conclude with the roadmap, because this topic will come again during the stakeholder engagement. You will see some difficulties with the before P concept and things like that. So to conclude with this and learn some advices for the follower cluster from the frontrunner cluster. The first one, of course, you may have understood, do not start from zero. You probably already have a roadmap in your own institution, a roadmap or a strategic document. And in this document, find some objective that should be relevant for the cluster, and it should be a good starting point. Then, if you are 2 clusters or more, do not hesitate to spend time on this process. For us, we wrote the roadmap we work on it between July and October. Not full time, but we took some time to brainstorm, to write, and to review the whole document, also with the help of the coordination team. And the last one, of course, update it regularly. Read it regularly to make sure it's still aligned with all the concept you're involved in, all the before peak concept, everything. So that's it for the roadmap. You will have some time at the end if you want to ask questions to the cluster or to the RTOs. And now let's move on best practices on stakeholder. Juan,
Just one comment to add to the previous slide. We also prepare a frequently asked questions document to support them when they are preparing the roadmap.
Sorry, I didn't really get the point.
No, in order to prepare the roadmaps, we also prepare a document, frequently asked question, that perhaps could also support to the question of Sabina and so on. If you can share the link, it could be useful to know this document also. It was a dynamic document that we were preparing during the process.
So about best practices on stakeholder engagement. For example, to engage our stakeholder, we try to organize events like workshop. We organized in 2024, one in France and one in Spain. The first one in Anglet, in the French Basque Country, about funding opportunities for the innovation project. And the second one about innovation in sustainable building sector in Bilbao, so in Spain. Each time we had 3 guest speakers from SMEs, which have European project or experience in this kind of project. So they gave some feedback, some tips to participate in European projects or to avoid mistakes during the redaction process or things like that. Then the RTO presented some theoretical things about European funding program and other international or national opportunities. And each time we conclude the session by a matchmaking session, during which the participant can exchange about their difficulties, their needs, or they can begin to work on shared projects. In general, for this event, we can say that it was difficult to attract SMEs. We noticed that it was not really a priority for them, and they have no much time to spend on this kind of events. We need to do more bilateral exchanges, which can be interesting for SMEs because it takes less time and it's more specific for them. But these events were interesting to network, to discuss with the other participants, even if sometimes it's not a discussion about European projects. They meet each other and they discuss about some topics. So the positive aspect and some difficulties on stakeholder engagement based on the experience of ODIs and building. About the positive aspects, we noticed that it's easy to involve the members, the cluster, the members of ODIs or of building used to participate in European projects because they already know all the concepts, all the terminologies, and they know it's an interesting topic. We also have a diversity of our members, and it's attractive to develop the network. So the members are coming to develop their network. They also reach us to benefit from our European experience because we have some visibility at the European level, so our members can be interested by this visibility or networks, etc. The next point is linked to that. They can develop their European network thanks to us, and they also have access to new funding opportunities. And each time we try to present them new offer linked with the new ITBs for their projects to help them with their innovation development. And for us and for our members, the collaboration with the other cluster permits to exchange best practices. And thanks to that, we can better help our members. About the difficulties, or let's say some insecurities noticed by the clusters, sometimes it's difficult to explain the whole concept to a member. What is a before peak? Then you need to talk about the NEB, then the Build for People partnership. It's quite a difficult concept to explain, so you probably will lose some members when you will explain this concept. Another point is that it's difficult, as we already said, to involve the small SMEs. They have no time, it's not a priority for them, so maybe it will be too complicated for them to spend time on the before peak activities. Something else is that when you organize events around European projects or European opportunities, sometimes the languages is too difficult to understand. It's too complicated, and the SMEs think that it's not really interesting to participate in European projects. So maybe you will lose other members if you organize events only on European projects. Some members of the network are difficult to motivate. This is the one not directly involved in innovation. So for them, we need to think about another way to integrate them in the before peaks. We noticed also that being a before peak is not really something that will attract new members and help us to have more members and more stakeholders involved in the before peak. About the platform, 2 points. We need to generalize the use of the meta building platform, because if not, the before peak will continue to work on their own share tool, and it's not the aim. The aim is to push the before peaks to work together in the same in the same platform. So we really think that it's useful to use the meta building platform and to promote the use. The next point also about the meta building platform is that sometimes your members have no time to dedicate to the creation of a profile on the meta building platform, and they do not really fully understand the interests of having their own profile. Yes, Claudia, you want to mention something about the platform?
I just finished. I just want to add something again.
So they do not, your member do not really see the interest of having their own profile on the platform, and they prefer to be represented by their cluster. But we need to find a way to show them the interest of the platform and everything they can do thanks to the platform. And the last point, it's more an insecurity rather than a difficulty. It's that we do not really know what will happen of the before peaks and our network after the end of the Horizon Europe and the 2 projects, Nebula and Star Trek. Yes, Claudia.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify a little about the problematic on onboarding new type of members to the Build for People Innovation Cluster and what we mean by that, because it might maybe seem a little contradictory, because on the other side we say more or less the whole value chain is represented, diversity of cluster members. This is related to what we understand with respect to new type of members. It's true. I think that all of the 3 Build for People innovation clusters that are engaged and are contributing to the meta cluster, Aquitaine, Euskadi, Navarre, they have the whole value chain of innovation actors already in their members directory, if you want to say so. Here it could be, it said we want to integrate as the success factor one of the maturation framework, the whole value chain. But over time, we have become a little more specific on this, and probably we will change it, because when we say the whole value chain, actually we mean more than that. We mean not only the known type of innovation actors, so the universities, the RTOs, the companies that produce innovative tools and technologies, the ones that implement them, and so on. So it's not the traditional value chain that we want to talk about, but other members that are maybe not part of the traditional value chain, but are very important innovation actors, not directly involved in innovation, but in facilitating innovation. Meaning this can be insurance company, this can be private financing, private investors, these can be regulators that we need to convince to ease maybe certain regulations in order to be able to transfer innovation to the market. So it's other actors than the traditional actors of the value chain that we want to integrate, because we understand it's not enough to stick with the actors of the traditional value chain, but we need to integrate the ones that can help us to switch from a more market push approach, which is the value chain, traditional value chains one, to a market pull approach. But for this, we have to work on the conditions around. We have to to motivate the region to do, for example, public procurement, to help bring things to the market, to change maybe the boundary conditions in order to facilitate all of this. Everything that helps to, in the end, create the market pull versus the more market push. And I think this is, and of course we need money for this. This is why we want to integrate investors. If the insurance company don't play with us, we can't transfer things to the market because we have an insurance problem and so on. So this is what we mean by onboard a new type of members to the Build for People innovation cluster. So it's not everybody that is in the traditional value chains, but it's members that are maybe not directly involved in innovation, but that are crucial and important to have on board in order to increase the transfer of innovations to the market. Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have some advices and some needs we identified after the writing of the roadmap. The advices for the follower cluster, it's basic advices, but maybe it will help you. Try to focus your event on topic you think are interesting for your members. For example, for us, it's digitalization, environment, and energy funding opportunities. Do not hesitate to contact other before peaks to profit for their feedbacks and maybe to organize share events to attract more stakeholders. And concentrate your efforts on the motivated members. Maybe it's only 5% of your members, but don't worry, work with these 5% and the rest will follow. And all frontrunner clusters identified some needs they have, some things that can help them to work better on the roadmap process and on the services they can provide to their members. The first one is a necessity to have easy to understand communication materials, because we have communication content, but maybe it's too complicated and we need to have easy words to simplify the concept at maximum. So it's a bit like Sabina, like what Sabina was saying. We need to have communication materials and to find them somewhere. We also need to have a virtual before peak network animated and the virtual page of the meta-building platform. Sorry, we need to animate this profile to permit to all the before peaks to work together efficiently in this page, because all the before peak do not know the existence of this profile, or they know it, but there are not a lot of before peaks linked to this page, so they cannot work with everyone. So this is linked to the last point. You need a training on the use of the meta-building platform. If you have other needs, please share it with us so we can find a way to help you. And now that's it for us, but if you have questions, it's time for questions. And of course, I put just here the contact of everyone, so you can contact directly Oday's Building Nobatech or Claudia and Juan from Tecnalia if you want.
Don't be shy. We are here for this.
And I think we also need to take a screenshot for the communication team of NEBULA. So if someone can, I will just
and put on your camera so we see you.
Yeah,
maybe.
If you do not want to be on the picture, let your camera off. But if we have everyone, can be good to communicate on this event.
So Lise, are you taking the screenshot, right?
Yes,
No?
I'm putting this page, and I will try to have everyone. Yes, I have everyone here. Tac. Okay, done. So you can ask your question now.
At least I
don't have
go
a
ahead.
question, but just to say thank you for sharing and for today's, let's say, presentations and contents and inputs you gave us. Thank you.
Just a question, Lise. So will the recording be available online afterwards? In case other clusters want to have a look?
Yes, I can share everything. The PowerPoint and also the whole presentation.
Maybe I profit if you don't have questions. I have a question for you. I would like to know what you have started to engage in this journey, maybe not so long ago, but still. And I would like to learn what are your problems and where you would need to have help or support and so on. And if this, what we have presented, is helpful to you or not at all. I understand Roberto, yes, for him it's helpful. I hope for the others as well. And if it isn't, please tell us what you would need or what you don't understand and where you would need or like to have help.
Yeah, again,
Yes.
sorry, but if I can say, I mean, in the discussion we are having with the local innovation system, I mean, maybe the most difficult part is to convince them of the added value in being part of a more extended network. So what you explained today in the exchanges among different innovation systems and exchange of the lesson learned and let's say improving the overall innovation system in order to provide a better service for the companies here. So at the end, the final aim is to have let's say, more innovative product on the market. So let's say, I mean, I don't know exactly the way to measure that, but that is what we are talking about and kind of objective we are trying to define. So to make easier the innovation path for companies having, let's say, good or excellent ideas and how to better support them. So yeah, maybe the point is how to convince them that being part of an extended network at European level is beneficial for them because of the reasons I already said.
I think you mentioned one important point that we were not talking so much about, but the topic itself that Star Trek responded to, and the vision that the Commission has for the Build for People innovation clusters in general. And we didn't talk a lot about it, but is that they help to create local business value chains. And this means not only in your region. I mean, if you're mono region, this means maybe in your region, but it can also be on regional ground between two, and so on. And I think this is also something, and I think when I heard bringing innovation to the market, yes, but not necessarily only in your own region, but in a bigger consolidated region or elsewhere. Yeah, I think this is a really important demand of the Commission towards the Build for People innovation clusters, that they help to do this. It's more something we treat in Star Trek than in Nebula, but it certainly is, but not, it's also treated in Nebula, but it was maybe not the topic of today, or not so much topic of today, but it's certainly a valid point. I see now people are getting courage. Vanessa, tell us what.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for your presentation. It was great. I think that the problem for us has a Build for People Innovation Cluster is getting some kind of support to perform some activities, like frame the activities in some way, because we are a non-profitable organization. We are trying to get it through projects like Build for People projects. We are applying to some, but we have no budget allocated to this kind of activities, and that's the difficulty for us as a cluster. For our associates and people that are around the cluster, the main problem is getting them together, having the time to discuss things together, to propose new projects, to develop new products. It's quite challenging to get contractors for 1 hour discussing something that is innovative or different. They are focused on the business as usual, trying to survive, to get labor, to have budgets, to have wages in the end of the month. And I'm not sure how is it in your country, but in Portugal we have this labor scarcity to perform all the kind of works they have to do. So they are more focused on more urgent issues, not in long-term innovation or developing more sustainable buildings or products or built environment. And in fact, these things are mandatory, like circularity, sustainability, and so on. Otherwise, it will be in the end of their to-do list. I feel that. I'm not sure what you think about it.
I totally agree, and I think you're hitting a very important point. We have seen this in the 2 workshops we had. We did have companies, but most of the participants were not companies. They were entities representing companies, but we want to talk to companies because we want to help them to bring things on the market. We had also events in Greece and Hungary. In Greece, we had a lot of participants because we did it also in another frame. We combined it with the annual, let's say, the annual meeting of the cluster. So this made sure that there were a lot of people already there. So very good. Thank you, Dia and Elias. And this helped to have a lot of people. But it's sure that this is one of the main headaches. But I think we have to live with it. Also in Hungary, we did have companies, but there were also a lot of universities and so on that were interested. It's hard to get these companies on board. They are not, sometimes the percentage is very low. Building and Odis, they say this all the time. But I think I would like to end, and I put the phrase that I borrowed actually from Inigo, from Icons. He said, we have to motivate the motivated, or go with the motivated and let the others follow. I think that's the only thing we can do, and not lose hope, and try to prove with the ones that are already motivated to do things. Sometimes I have the feeling I'm always speaking to the same people, the same 3 companies that are motivated, which doesn't make it easy, but that's the only way to go, because we have to step by step convince them that keeping the head down and pedaling like crazy won't help them at the long term, and they need to open up, and that the opportunities lay in innovation and then opening up in collaboration. But I completely understand, but I don't have the magic recipe than the one I got from Inigo, and I think that's the one I will apply. We have a next hand up, Gianluca.
Thank you. Thank you for the meeting and for all the input you gave us. And I think you gave us a lot of things to reflect on. And looking at the presentation, in my mind, I thought that we have a lot of similar issues. Speaking of what we do as a cluster, trying to involve stakeholders and so on. But just one thing stand out during the presentation, at least to me. We are more difficult to engage big companies. We have very few big companies related to building sector in Emilia-Romagna, okay, and they try to make innovation by themselves, at least for now. But we obviously try to do to get them on board on our cluster. Maybe it's a paradox, but it's easier to try to develop innovation with smaller companies or startups because they want to expand their business, and it's easier to do so by involving them in very close to market projects, speaking from research project, okay, European or local or national, okay. So it's something to, I guess, to reflect on for us, and you gave us a lot of interesting input, and that's it. And hopefully the next time we will get back with some new ideas to bring to the discussion. Thank you very much.
Maybe we can learn of as well. Maybe to give you a feedback on how maybe to onboard big companies. I don't know. I'm talking about other sectors, but in a lot of sectors like pharmaceuticals and so on, the ones that do innovation are doing most interesting innovation are the small ones sometimes, and in order and they can, if we help them, and this will also attract the big ones because they need them. And the big ones have their long-term strategy and everything you want, but sometimes they are not very. Startups are, as you know, much more flexible, innovative. They try and so on. What large companies often can't do, and teaming up the two, I think that's the idea. And if I talk to French companies, big ones, Bouygues, for example. This is what attracts them to this ecosystem, because they say they will get in touch with innovative companies they can afterwards collaborate with. The only worry with this is that the small ones are afraid of being then copied or whatever. But if we come to a sound collaboration, I think this helps the small ones to expand, and the big ones finally to get access to more innovative solutions that they themselves are often not able to perceive because they are too slow in this whole process. But this is my take on it. I don't know if it helps. Next hand, Selma.
Yes, yes. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much. I just wanted to, thank you because the presentation and discussion is very useful to me and interesting. I haven't met most of you before, and we are in the relatively early stages of developing a cluster in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So there are a lot of lessons that can be learned, but working with diaspora as this is sort of conceived. So I just wanted to reiterate what was said before. It is so important to kind of understand and then help transmit what is the language and what and the difficulties are sometimes there to find meaning in clustering in all these acronyms and through these acronyms, and that's where the glossary that was mentioned is also very useful. Glossary is also useful not only for understanding the language of administration and the new maybe slogans that are launched, but it's also useful across disciplines so it is very general, plus that our medium is more or less English language, so it is important to help simplify maybe and kind of arrive and review all the time that common language. I am heartened to hear, and kind of even empathy of working with small numbers or kind of pushing or people or kind of counting on maybe 5%, then 50 or something like that. And that seems to be the case. And the thing is probably what is helpful to have this type of fora to review and to as Claudia is saying, to keep motivated so that we kind of push in the same. And also I just wanted to say, yes, market pull and kind of outputs of all this, but it's also I think this is very important that there is a process being remodeled in some way, and I think that is so important to maintain the processes of how we work together, how we innovate, and how we change in line of the New Green Deal, etc. So the key would be, yes, how to attract support in reframing this process and and kind of modifying the value chain as the new European Bauhaus is suggesting, for example, or Build for People. So in any case, I just wanted to thank you very much. I find this very, very useful, and I look forward to getting the copy of slides.
Thank you. I'm happy if this could help. We have Carmine. Oh no, now he left or he put the hand down. So we
I just put my hand down because maybe it's too long. So next meeting I will propose it.
Very good. Write it. We can also profit if you write it in the chat and so on. I think maybe Lise will then do a short resume on lessons learned from you that we can focus on in the future and take into consideration as well. Dia?
Yes, I would like to say that perhaps one way to attract big companies is to develop strong links with the public authorities. So this it works for the Greek cluster. So the big companies want to have, let's say, some direct information or contacts with the ministries. So one way to attract, let's say, larger companies is to develop strong links also with the public authorities, ministries. We have now a new CPR. So there are regulations that are coming, which are, let's say, a challenge also for the big companies. So this is a way to, I think that we can work on this.
Thank you, Dia. Interesting thought. And yeah, I think this is also kind of joining what I said, that we have to work on the surrounding conditions. So it's not only work directly with the people involved or the companies involved. Of course, this is important, but sometimes it's not enough, and the governments or other actors can support us and need to be there, because if there is no money, it's a problem for small companies. So investors need to be there. So we have to bring money in, public or private, doesn't really matter. And this is really important. And they are okay. They are not doing the innovation. They maybe not even transferring the innovation, but they are paying for it or for the upscaling of it. And this is important. Yeah. Okay, we are already 13 minutes over time. I will let Lise maybe close the event, but don't hesitate to send us also emails. You have our contacts to also, if you have the chance, leave some remarks in the chat, and this will help us to better define what we have to focus in the future in order to be able to help you and ourselves in the end to establish what we are trying to. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you all.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
think I need to do a feedback on your feedbacks.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all.
I don't know if we will meet again before, but in case, Merry Christmas.
Merry
Yes.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all of you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.